Hi there, it's Julie from The Best Cake Recipes. One of the questions that we get asked the most often is how do you keep your cakes from sticking in the pans when you're making layer cakes or bundt cakes? We have the solution for you today. I'm going to be showing you how to make a simple 3-ingredient recipe for something called cake release. This is something that you're going to put in your pans to make sure that every time you take your cakes and flip them after baking, that they turn out perfectly and come out of the pan cleanly. Today, I'm going to use 1 cup each of flour, shortening, and oil. You can make as much of this recipe as you want or as little as you want depending on how many cakes you make. So the first thing I'm going to do is put our shortening into the bowl. Some of you have asked if you can use coconut oil instead of shortening, and the answer is yes, you can use coconut oil instead of shortening. The second ingredient is all-purpose flour. And the last ingredient I will put in is oil. I'm just going to take my hand mixer and I'm going to put it in and just mix it up. So you've just mixed it up so that most of the clumps come out. If you can see, there are just a few little teeny clumps in there. That is completely fine. So now your cake release is made. It is that easy. So today I am making a layer cake. So I have 2 round 8-inch pans. I take a paper towel because it's disposable, easy cleanup. I'm gonna scoop a little bit of the cake release onto the paper towel and then just rub it into the pan. You want to make sure you get the corners, the bottom edges around the bottom of the pan. You want to make sure you get the sides. If you're generous with the cake release, the cake will be sure to come out cleanly and easily. Some of you may have learned to both use shortening and flour in a pan, and that's definitely an alternative to this cake release. You can grease a pan with shortening and then dust it with flour. But I find when I'm already making a mess in the kitchen, that's just another mess to add. So making up a batch of this cake release and keeping it in the refrigerator for 4 to 6 months, if it lasts that long, will just make your cake making day easier. So as you can see here, this is one container that I like to use. It is plastic and just has a snap top that closes it tight. If you have a little bit more, I love these jars with the blue lids. Everybody knows that the blue lid is not mashed potatoes or anything like that, that it's cake release. So it just kind of helps it to stand out. I'm gonna put this cake release right in this jar, and then I just keep it in my refrigerator until I need it. If you are making cake release that just a small amount that you know you won't have very long, you can keep it at room temperature. But because I make up a bigger batch and I just want to make sure it stays okay, I store mine in the refrigerator. And there it is. This cake release not only helps just basic round and square cakes to come out of cake pans easily, it also is great for fancier bundt cakes. So we have this beautiful bundt cake pan with leaves and acorns on it. And if you're greasing a pan like this, just make sure you take your paper towel and really get in the grooves of all of these different intricate designs. Okay, so we have our cakes baked. They are out of the oven and they've been out of the oven for about 10 minutes. I find that keeping cakes in the pan for only about 10 minutes is what works best. Of course, if your recipe says to do something differently, definitely follow the recipe that you're using. Now, let's see how this cake release works. Take the pan, flip it over, pull up, and as you can see, it is clean out of the pan. So whether you are making a layer cake or a bundt cake or any other type of cake that you need to flip out of a pan, cake release works wonders. So I highly recommend keeping some of this on hand if you are a baker for all of your cakes. Thanks for watching today. I hope that you will like this video and then subscribe and keep coming back to see all of our great cake making tips and recipes.